Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday. So, this is a re recording of the video I recorded last night for this morning because more stuff has come out overnight in regards to what I was talking about, and I want to make sure you guys are as up to date as I can possibly get you. Something big is coming in the very near future, and nobody knows what, but this is getting, and I'm talking very near future. This is starting to get quite worrisome as what's going on because you have the 46 administration hiding in plain sight that something's going on. Last night, I had read a couple of stories, and then 3 or 4 of you guys also emailed me the same story. Apparently, the Biden administration is now putting up a huge concrete barrier. 12 feet high or whatever there it is. You can look at the pictures because there's going to be a bunch of links below in the description for you guys to check out on this one. But they're putting up a huge concrete barrier around the White House inside the wrought iron gates. Okay? So, what's going on? Walls don't work, remember? We can't have walls on the southern border because, they don't work. But now the 12-foot high wrought iron fence around the White House isn't any good, so we're going to put up concrete barriers as well. What are they worried about? Okay, and I'm going to get to a little bit of narrative at the end. Well, this is what's coming out in the last 12 to 16 hours or whatever it is. Evelyn Farkas, who was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia from 2012 to 2015, published an op-ed on Tuesday in Defense One, okay, which is obviously a military publication, all right. Ex-Pentagon official here, mind you, under the Obama administration. Headline: U.S. must prepare for war with Russia. Okay, that gets a little worrisome. Why does she say that? Well, because you had those talks Tuesday between Moscow and the U.S. 4 hours of talking, and absolutely nothing was accomplished. The U.S. said Russia's not going to stop NATO from expanding, which is true. Russia has no say in the matter on what NATO does, okay? And Russia is not going to do anything in regards to backing down any of their troops or anything like that, that they've got staged, like I've said many times, 200 to 400 miles away from the Ukrainian border. So you get those tensions that are going on. Then if you add more fuel to the fire, then you get the EU's chief diplomat come out, okay, Joseph Borrell, who says, what's the quote here, that NATO must define what it can do to hold the security of Europe and the principles of underpinning it. Russia's addressed the United States and NATO proposals on the future of security in Europe that contravene the principles of European security architecture. They are accompanied by a military buildup on the border of Ukraine and the open threat by Russia of taking military actions if these demands are not met. Okay. Now, let's think about this for a second. China is trying to get as buddy-buddy with Russia as they can right now. And NATO, US, Europe, everybody, is pushing Russia away. What do you think Russia is going to do? They are going to align themselves with their historical adversary in China, okay? Enemy of my enemy is my friend, that sort of stuff. So, this is what to watch out for. You've got U.S. people calling for a potential war. You've got diplomatic actions not working well whatsoever. You've got alliances being formed between adversaries that are enemies of ours, okay? in one way, shape, or form. Okay. And again, mind you guys, I'm not saying the people, all right? I have nothing against the Russian people, obviously. I have nothing against the Chinese people, okay? I have nothing against the Taiwanese people either here, or the Ukrainian people. I'm perfectly fine with everybody living happy in harmony, okay? You do your thing, I'll do my thing, and, over the hill we go. But it's the politicians that want to rattle sabers and, have visions of grandeur in their head, okay? Well, of course, you have to get into what's been going on here lately. And think about this. We talked yesterday about the creation of a domestic terrorism unit, okay? And of course, the mainstream media has got to come out in force in the U.S. on this. And you had MSNBC's national security analyst Clint Watts come out and say Trump was a galvanizing force for a lot of extremist groups who are now domestic terror threats. All right. This is the mindset of the liberals. They are panicked, guys. Understand this. They're now at what, 26 congressmen, Democratic congressmen who are retiring before the next election. They know they are going to get slaughtered in the next election. They know their regime is over. I talked about this on my January 1st predictions. I said, watch what's going to happen is they are going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here and come up with every crazy possible thing they can, knowing that their tenure is now less than a year in running the country, and they'll probably lose the majority in the White House for at least the next 10 years. Okay, so they know it's now or never. So now they're going to try to label anything and everything extremism. This wall that's going up is, we've got to protect the president from extremism, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Ely Mistall, all right, the complete jackass who's on MSNBC all the time, comes out and he's got to throw race in this, okay, is saying that we are going to have a situation where many people, including some sitting Congress people now, are calling for a national divorce, okay, i.e. secession. He came out yesterday and said, well, of course the South wants a divorce. They want to own the black people again. No, okay? Hate to tell you this, dumbass. I live down south. I have no intention of owning any black people. Just leave me the F alone and I'll be happy, okay? Trust me, I'll go out and pick my own crops. I don't need any help, okay? This is where the issue comes into play, guys. This is what pisses me off, okay, about this whole building a wall around the White House. That's my damn house, not Joe Biden's. That's your house, okay? You and I own that house. He's a tenant, okay? And there ain't no damn rent moratorium for him that he can stick around after his lease expires. You are keeping me off of my property and basically as a squatter. You do not have a right to put up a wall and keep me off my own property, all right? The problem we have is that for the last 30 years, ex-Trump, we've had criminal elements running this country. Biden, who is just an extension of Obama, who's a notorious criminal, the Bush family, which were notorious criminals, and I don't even have to tell you about the Clinton cabal, okay? Since 1992, 30 years, we have been run by something 10 times more terroristic and deadly than the mafia, all right? These establishment politicians have a plan. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, whatever you're going to talk about, okay? This is the plan. And they know, left and right establishment, okay, that they want to destroy us. They are doing anything they can to protect themselves. You've all talked about it. There's been videos on it constantly about bunkers being built by the elite, by the politicians. Here you have a wall going up around the White House to protect the squatter in chief. Okay? Why? My family's blood, your family's blood, the risk I took, the risk many of you took, the veterans, the military, active duty, reserves, National Guard, police force, blah, blah, blah. Our sweat, tears, and blood paid the mortgage on that house. Not Biden spending 50 years sucking off the teat of the taxpayer. He hasn't made an interest payment on it, let alone a principal payment. That's our house, not his. And he has no damn right to keep us out of it. Something big is about to go down, guys. There's no reason in the world they would be putting up a concrete barrier around the White House, establishing a domestic terrorism unit, and having people coming out and talking about wars, right hand, left hand, guys, okay, the magic, if something big wasn't about to go down in the U.S. We haven't had the Supreme Court decision yet on the mandates. You know damn well they got a plan when that goes the wrong way for them. We've talked about cities that are establishing their own rules. Muriel Bowser yesterday, and that one getting amended to her tweet that was misunderstood. She got blistered in the media, if you know, when what I had said, everybody else was saying that you can't go out of your house, and then she came out late in the around lunchtime or so, I guess, and said, no, you can't go into basically any business, but you can go outside. Whoopee-doo, okay? You've got what's going on in Washington State with them building quarantine camps. You've got what's going on up on the Canadian border with we're a day or two away from no trucks can cross the border unless the drivers are vaccinated. We've got the final shoe is about to drop, and it's going to be a big one, because we all know about National Guard being called up. We all know about fences around Congress. Put them up, take them down, put them up, take them down, whatever, whichever stage they're at this point. But when they're trying to fortify probably the most heavily guarded place in the United States, if not the world, in the White House, okay, something's up. Joe, I hate to tell you this. As much as you believe you are not king. That is not your castle, and you are not allowed to build a moat. Because you know what? Two can play at that game. Have a good Thursday. Pinball out.